Hey, welcome back. Today I'm working on my spare ATV. This one is a 1991 Yamaha Moto 4 250. It's a utility quad. It's two-wheel drive only. It's a 5-speed semi-automatic with high and low and reverse. This is my spare one that my friends ride. If somebody wants to go with me, go for a ride, this is what they would ride. I've had this probably since 2005 or 6, I think. So that would make it, 15 or so years that I've had it. It's been a pretty good machine. It's been in the shed quite a bit lately. Like the last 3-4 years, it's been in the shed. I do start it up occasionally, but somehow I pump some regular gas into it, like cheap crap. Not Chevron 91, or I even could have put in the winter blend, which has ethanol. So over time it gums up. I was having to run it with the choke always on, which is actually the enricher, to get it to stay idling. And but it's been a really good machine. It's still got the original front tires. We did change the back tires on it. We gave it some bigger knobbies because it's two-wheel drive, and it needs all the traction it can get when we get out on the trail. But usually this is the second quad. So we push or pull this one up and down the trail if we need to with my quad here, which is a 4-wheel drive. So today I'm just doing a bunch of TLC. We're gonna be using it a little more often now. My kids are getting older, and I wanna go out, take them to an easy trail. They can either ride this or ride this one. This one's easier for them because they don't have to shift with their foot. It's just electric shift. But basically the only thing this thing really needs is the carburetor, which I already took it out, and I already cleaned it out, cleaned all the crud out of it. The air filter is K&N, and it's in good shape. I cleaned it last year, and I've only put it back in the shed. So there's nothing special on this quad. I did add a voltmeter gauge, and I added an electric fan to keep the engine cool on slow, hot trails. When we're climbing, the quad was getting hot, like with an adult on it. You could tell it wasn't. You could start hearing the valves from the motor getting pretty hot. So this solved the problem. The way it mounted in there, it points right at the motor, which is pretty good. So it keeps airflow across the motor. This motor here does not have an oil cooler, so you got to be kind of careful with it. Here's the carburetor. I've already taken it apart and cleaned it. It's ready to go back in. You could see this right here. This is what happens to the old gas. This is like this goopy stuff, which is part of the gas going bad, and this is what's left behind is the gummy ethanol particle. And over time, you see how it's like honey almost. Over time, that actually crystallizes, it hardens up, and it plugs the jets completely. That's the issue with it. That's why a lot of people run the canned race gas or like marine gas, so they avoid this issue with this stuff right here. Yeah, I'm just gonna put it together now, fire it up. I gotta check my logs about the oil. I don't remember the last time I changed the oil, but it has no miles on it. But if it's 3 years, I'll probably change it. It may be too long just sitting there. We'll see, but do gotta check the log. So yeah, looking at the logs, last time this thing had an oil change was in April of 2018, which is 4 years. So it's probably time to change it. Some tools, some safety wire. I use the safety wire to safety wire the fuel line on. The vacuum lines don't really need it. So I gotta hook up the cold start valve, the throttle. This is a fairly easy job. It's a fairly easy job here. Hook up the throttle. That's the idle. It's going to get adjusted a little later. Get these little nuts started. Alright, the carburetor's in, all connected up. Alright, so the carburetor fix is done. It runs pretty good. I rode it around the yard. It's idling really good. It's with the choke off. Before I had to have this on. Now I don't. Before it would sputter at this speed. It was coughing and doing all sorts of crazy stuff, so now it's doing pretty good. I think I'm gonna call this one done.